next presentation comes from Michele de Lorenzi from ETH Zurich, campus Heilbronn.
Perfect. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here for at least 3 reasons. First of all, I'm happy to be in front of this community, which gave me a lot of things in the last 15, 17 years when I was working at CSCS. I learned a lot of things. And about also this special conference, I remember when we were in Portland together with Hussein and Gilad and other colleagues from CSCS, and we discussed about the importance to have such a conference in Switzerland and next to CSCS, and then came up the idea to create this conference here, and I'm very happy for once to be able to speak in front of the community. The second thing is I am coming from Locarno. I went around the world, so I just went to the school around the corner, and I am very happy also to be back in my home city. And third of all, I think I have today one of the most interesting job I could have in my life, and a very challenging job, which is creating a new university together with other colleagues. So what you see here, this ETH Zurich campus Heilbronn, is one of the most important projects of ETH Zurich, and the goal is to create a new campus, the first new campus of ETH Zurich outside Switzerland, who has other small campuses, for example in Singapore, but which are different. They don't have own professor, they don't have own students. So this is a new project, and this is a very challenging project, and I'm very happy to be able to share with you what we are doing in there. And in fact, so on one side I am working more in the administrative part of the project to make it possible to have a new campus in Heilbronn, but I also see how important all the time it is the contribution of HPC to the activities we have in Heilbronn. Every time I have the president of ETH Zurich presenting why ETH Zurich is going to Heilbronn, why ETH Zurich wants to further invest in AI. There is always a picture of Alps supercomputer and CSCS telling how important the work is that is being done here in Ticino. And the title of my presentation is Bridging Swiss Excellence and at the heart of Germany AI Hub, and I want also to present to you a little bit what is this AI Hub. Where everything started, and it started one meeting our president had with Mr. Dieter Schwarz, which is the owner of Lieder and Kaufland, which is also the most rich person in Germany, and he's very committed, Mr. Schwarz, to further education, to research, and especially for his hometown, which is Heilbronn. Heilbronn is just a little bit north to Stuttgart, which is in Baden-Württemberg, which are the size of Baden-Württemberg is similar to Switzerland. So, and we have a lot of story of exchange between the two countries. And we signed an agreement between the Dieter Schwarz Stiftung and ETH Zurich with the goal to establish a teaching and research center for responsible digital transformation on the education campus of the Dieter Schwarz Stiftung in Heilbronn. So the time horizon is 30 years, which is quite long, so I don't know even what I will do in next holidays, and we have to plan something for 30 years to invite new professors, define new curricula we want to teach in Heilbronn. You see the numbers. We will have 15 new professorships in Heilbronn. There are also some professorships which will be paid in Zurich. And we will have about 300 employees, which are researchers, which are PhD students, which are also administration, which are postdocs. So this is about the size we will have. And we will more specialize in master degrees, not necessarily in bachelor. We don't think at this time bachelor, but master degree programs, continuing education, and we expect to have about 750 students. And my job I have today is really from scratch to create this new campus, which means everything, which means to have a new building, to have, so we have a lot of people working together, it's a big team, but we will have a new building, we will have decide what we want to teach, we have to decide what professor we want to have, what the research field will be. It means also about how do we do the management, the financial management of everything. So we have to do everything from scratch. Germany is similar to Switzerland, but it's very different. So are people from Germany here? Yeah, so you can confirm it's a little bit more complex than in Switzerland. And I know I am learning a new German. So Gemeinnützigkeit, Artikel Gestattung, Article 60A, and so on. I tell you 72B. So it's a new word I am learning there. And what it's about, and we have a message that Joël Mézot is giving. Why are we going to Germany? Why there is a need for ETH Zurich to go to Germany? And we think it's important for ETH Zurich to open up to another site where we can also experiment. And we think that Heilbronn today is a place in Europe where the future is being made. And I will show you who the players are in Heilbronn. But what we have in Heilbronn, we have scientific excellence. We have also ETH Zurich, so we find there, but we also contribute as a university to scientific excellence. We have engineering powerhouse. ETH Zurich is a technical university, but in southern Germany, they are all TÜVler, so we have all these small companies, or small, and Audi, we have just around the corner, we have Mercedes-Benz, we have Bosch. There is a lot of entrepreneurship. In southern Germany, around us, we have about 600 small, mid-sized companies we can work together. We have talents, we have people coming to Heilbronn thinking they can change the world, thinking they can contribute to the new developments, and we have visionary ideas. So you see on this picture, on one side we have the building of the Dieter Schwarz Stiftung, and the other side we have EPI. I give you some additional information. What the main goal is at the end is what Joël Mézot tells, is to have a CERN of AI. So if we see CERN in Geneva as a place where engineers, people from different countries, different worlds come together to create something new, maybe up to now, the future has been particle physics, and maybe in the future we will have AI as really a new factor changing our society. And we think with ETH Zurich to be at this time and in the future in Heilbronn will contribute to develop this CERN of AI. One of the first jobs we had at the ETH Zurich was to decide what the fields of research will be of these 15 professors. And ETH Zurich and Switzerland is, let's say, it's easy but also complicated because we want to have everyone to support a project. So we asked all the departments of ETH Zurich, what do you think that would be interesting to have in Heilbronn? So we have a bottom-up way to proceed, where everyone could suggest some position, but just bottom-up is not good enough, because at the end you need to create a common idea what you would like to reach. So we have to go in both directions. And we got a lot of input, more than 30 different ideas what kind of professorship we could have in Heilbronn. We gave the direction. We want to go in AI and cybersecurity are two main topics, digitalization. And then we had a lot of work putting all this input together. And now in the next slide, I present you what the idea is, what we would like to have as research topics. And you see here, and this is the professorships, and we want to invest in fundamentals and impact. You see on the lower part we have the foundation, and we have to say ETH Zurich is a strong university because we care about the details, we care about theory, we care about nerdy things. So, and this you will see here, we want to have the basis of artificial intelligence. We will have here department of mathematics, we have computer science, we have information theory, we have electrotechnics. We'll give lesson and do research in this field. So we have then here trustworthy AI systems, robust and interpretable AI methods. So we have to understand what AI is from the mathematical point of view, from the theoretical point of view. Together with that part, we have information and cybersecurity, which is security digital infrastructure protecting from cyber attacks. Only when we have AI together with security, we can build on these fundamentals foundation, we can build application. And you see, at this time, we have seen three main topics for thematic focus. It would be AI plus X. On one side, we have a human-centric, ethically informed and socially responsible AI, and then AI for the social good. And we have on one side, we have Earth resources, how to manage them, and life sciences. And these are the application on top of this foundation. This is what is given by us from the different departments of ETH Zurich. On the top, we will work together with professors from architecture, from chemistry, from biosystem, and agriculture, and then we have about 7 to 8 departments of ETH Zurich represented in Heilbronn. This is where we started, and now on top of this professorship, we have to create a whole story, and also bring all the people together. What we want to do at the end is to create a social added value through responsible digital transformation. The timetable you will see on the next slide is on one side is fast and slow, depends on how you look at it. Because you say we started the MOU with the Dieter Schwarzer Stiftung Foundation has been signed in 2023. I started to work now on the project at the beginning of 2025, so almost 1 year and 3 months ago. There is myself on one side, and Boris Zürcher on the other side is my pendant in Zurich, coordinating the activity in Zurich. And in October 25, we were ready to present the professor profiles, and now we had to sign the final agreement with the Dieter Schwarzer Stiftung, which are a lot of paper, because at the end you go in a commitment for 30 years. So this is, and you have to really to think what happens about the money, what happens about the liability, and what happens if things go wrong, how can we roll back the project, how can we develop. So it was a lot of discussion we had there, but it was very successful discussion, so that on the 2nd of July of this year, we will be ready to inaugurate the new campus in Heilbronn, still without professors, because we need a little bit more time. But we will have a Bundesrat, Albert Rösti, and other politicians from Germany there for the inauguration, and I expect to have the first professor at the beginning of 2027. Just to show you the complexity we have in the project, the professor will be paid 20% in Switzerland, because if you want to have a professor of ETH Zurich, you have to be employed by 20% in Switzerland, and 80% they will be my employees. It's nice to have professors as employees, because they will be employees of my company in Germany. So it's everything we have to look how we can manage the different aspects. But this is the timetable we have, and we think that by the beginning of 2028, early 2028, we will be able to offer the first master studies. Now, a few words about Heilbronn and the ecosystem, why Heilbronn matters today. And it's a very, you see here a picture of the Bildungscampus, where I have my office just around the corner. And Heilbronn to check what you can see here. So we have, it's calling itself the Wissenschaft Heilbronn, and we have different players there. We have Experimenta, which is, the whole seat is dedicated to education from the kindergarten somehow up to have a PhD, and also explaining and science. So Experimenta is an exhibit, the largest technical exhibit for students, for schools. We have a lot of schools coming there from all over Germany to make interesting what is science, technology, and that's one of the institutions we have there. They have about 500 employees there. And then we have one important player, which is EPI. I will come back a little bit later, which is really dedicated to industry. And then we have the Bildungscampus. And ETH Zurich is part of the Bildungscampus. And who are the players on the Bildungscampus? You see here, these are all the universities which are part of this Bildungscampus. And the big difference is this one. When I am in Zurich, and we have a lot of other research institutions around there. We have UZA, University of Zurich, we have other one. But normally, you do what you want at the ETH Zurich. You don't really care too much about what the other university does. And we are expected really to work as much as possible with the other partners to create common offering in teaching and research together with the other partners. This is special. So, for example, we have 42, which is a school which is coming from France, where we expected that students learn by themselves programming, so that they go there, they have some supported by IT, and in groups they learn by themselves, educate themselves in programming. And these are some ideas that maybe we could use this new way of teaching and learning how to program, working together 42. But then we have other very important university. We have the TU München, which is the most important technical university in Germany. And we have Max Planck Institute and ETH Zurich, Steinbeis Institute, Fraunhofer, so Duale Hochschule Baden-Württemberg, and other players there. And we are daily in exchange with these players. We try to work together to bring, or we will try to bring our professor or students in contact with this other institution to get the best out of it. And I told you that there is another important activity, which is Innovation Park Artificial Intelligence, EPI in Heilbronn. And Heilbronn got 50 million from Baden-Württemberg to create this innovation. To think is what does it mean to this democratization, and what we should teach tomorrow when this happens, and in this new environment. And what the motto we have here in Heilbronn is the following one: Wir schaffen das neue Denken. So we create the new way of thinking. What does it mean to work in a new environment when AI has an important role? And we see here, students learn new competencies for out-of-the-box creative critical thinking. Students learn to think via personalized AI assistants. And what we have here is really in all fields we have in Heilbronn. Heilbronn should become an experiment, should become a living lab for the ETH Zurich, where we can experiment a new way of doing things. From the research point of view, how to accelerate research by AI and extend our capabilities by exploring our highly complex world. Engineering, how to innovate artificial creativity using AI. But also teaching, how will we teach in the future? So what are the new tools we will use for teaching? And this was the message from Joachim Bumals, professor, to me as administrator, is expecting me to do administration in a different way. How can we administer in a better way, new way, the center, what we are doing in Heilbronn? So how to increase efficiency and knowledge. And the end, what is also always important for ETH Zurich is how to empower and educate all citizens faster, to give back the control to the society of these technologies. See you in Heilbronn.
Thank you, Michele. Do we have a quick question?
Yes.
This is, of course, with my CSCS hat on. This will be 15 or 20 professorships in AI. They will all have, large compute needs.
Yes.
Has there been plans already? We know that, the Schwarz Foundation might want to build gigafactories in Germany. Are these on the menu, or is the idea that these ETH professors will be using CSCS of the infrastructure, or are you going for some kind of local solution?
Yes, for Joël Mézot, was the first thing was going there selling CSCS and Alps. So we have to say for the first thing went with the slides, and every time I see a presentation by the president, I see CSCS name and the label. What we think that we will need for all the campus, just give you the number, will be maybe 1 megawatts all for all the campus to test small hardware. If NVIDIA is giving us a little some board, or some other nice companies, so we will to have a place to place them. But this is just to do very practical R&D. And in the plan of Joël Mézot is always saying that he would like to have the partner there to work together with CSCS and to use the resources of CSCS, but not only. He would like to have CSCS to support these bigger factories there, the people there to use the knowledge we have at the ETH Zurich to power up. So it's part of the story, yes.
Yes, to follow up on Jo's question, in Switzerland we have the Swiss AI Initiative, or Swiss National AI Institute. I never remember what these acronyms mean, but I know what they mean, but I don't know how they are spelled out. So we, and SNAI emerged out of Alps, I will say it this way. And there is really a close collaboration that led to the success. We had examples of, let's say, failures or not successful initiatives in the past with data science, because they were developed completely orthogonal, almost like anti-CSCS or Alps. How are you now, other than the president going around, showing in slides? I know that, but that in itself does not make an impact. The impact comes bottom up. How do you make sure that, or how is this aligned with Swiss AI and the infrastructure?
With AI initiative, we are discussing together with them what they are doing, and we have in exchange, all the time. And on the practical way, if the people will be also, let's say, part of the Swiss AI initiative or not, is something different. I can suppose there are different possibilities, and this will be part of the boarding of the professor we will have. So to explain who are the player and that how they can engage in Switzerland. And I think the question, you say one important name, which is Swiss AI Initiative and Heilbronn, are how are positioned inside Switzerland. This I cannot judge at this time. I think we have really to understand. I don't think that Heilbronn can be seen just as subsidiary of Swiss AI Initiative. We have to find a way that both things are playing different roles and how they work together. And this is a challenge, I agree. If you say that this with your question, this is a challenge, I agree with you, this is a challenge.
Thank you, Michele.
Thank you.